if you want to get from beginning to end of masturbating, for example, quickly or efficiently, like I think lots of us will just go, okay, beginning of the video, I want to watch a bit of this. Ooh, I want to see if they do this position.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm getting there. I want to see who comes where. Done. Right? Like we can mechanically make our bodies do a thing within a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
And one thing I think I just want to bring up, I think that comes up in as a therapist, comes up in therapy with men in particular, is fear of performance anxiety and not lasting enough when they're having sex in real life.
Yeah.
And they worry it's because of how they've conditioned themselves to have sex with themselves.
Yeah.
So they worry about, like, what am I teaching my body to do? Am I moving things too quickly in this one scenario, and is that going to mean something undesirable in this other scenario? And so I just want to put that out there. Like, that is when we think about the intersection of porn and mental health and relationships, like that's one thing that really stands out at me as a concern that people often have.
So for instance, if I rush through my masturbation and I'm just trying to get to my orgasm as quickly as possible, it might be likely that when I go to have a sexual interaction with another human being that I might be getting to that orgasm place more quickly than I desired because I'm doing that constantly with myself.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean?
The idea I'm presenting. I don't know that that's true for everybody.
So
no,
I can totally relate to that. Absolutely. I think that's I think that's very accurate.
Well, and then I think there's also definitely the other side of it, which is the watching porn, watching Pound Town happen and going, God, I can't Pound Town like that or I would come, And so I think there's that insecurities as well. We get that a lot. Like I don't want to like speak too much for his stamina, but it changes depending on lots of different factors.
Yeah.
And someday Pound Town's available and some days it's not because he will come in 2 seconds. And that's something we have to work with and, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And
but I think it's so nice to know that from people who make porn, erotica, whatever we're calling it, that Pound Town isn't always possible. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, especially if you're having casual sex, for some people, the anxiety that comes with having a new partner means no coming at all, or it means coming very quickly.
Yep.
And that is so different from, somebody you've known for a while, which could be like, okay, know this person for a while, like, that same anxiety or energy isn't there, and I think that impacts performance.
That's exactly how I've explained it to her. I explained it, I was like, babe, I get so worked up with new people, and I after a while, it might only just be that first time that I need to decharge for the second time to just be more flowing and more
totally
endurance or whatever. But then again, I've also remembered that it's okay. It's okay if I'm in that place, and that I don't need to shame myself, and I need to stay in communication with the people that I'm interacting with, and they've been very supportive, and I've learned to kind of talk to people ahead of time and say, hey, I don't know how my endurance is gonna last until I'm like right in there, but this might be a thing, just so you know, and let's flow with that if that's okay, and usually it is, so.
And he's even, in fact, I remember a threesome where you got permission to come really fast, because you were like, I don't know, I might just come. And then it was like a 2-hour sex session, you only came once.
Yeah.
There's been other times when he's come early, and then he's just like, give me a second, and sometimes if you're that turned on, you can go again. And maybe you don't come the second time, and that's okay. Like, we don't, as females, really, like, I think it's not as big, I don't want to speak for everyone, but we get it. You know what I mean? Like, we get it that you're, like Black Heaton was saying, it's not fair that women can come many times and men only kind of come once, and then it's so, like, we get it. Like, if you just negotiate it with us a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I might come fast, but I can do some stuff later, or let's do a lot of foreplay, or whatever, you need to do. I think the communication's important.
Good point. But the question is, do we need to?
There you go.
Well, okay, so when you're talking about, like, sometimes it's 2 minutes, other times it's 2 hours. To me, recently, I've been thinking about just in like a pandemic state, how to calm the F down and
Right.
how to like not always think about outputs and productivity. And so I think to myself, in this particular time, if I want to do let's say 4 hours of really good work, compared to other times, I feel like I need more downtime.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
my point here is that the times that I'm productive are not useful, or they can't happen if I don't also have this other self-care time. It's a big package, right? So when we think about porn and we think about performance and sex with our partners, like sometimes masturbating, coming quickly, watching porn, doing certain things that are not with another person, those still need to be in place. It's part of the larger package. Because I have the space to do these things, then I'm also able to do this other thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think it
sure.
They feed one another.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm doing in my personal masturbation time definitely affects how I interact with her or interact with anything going on the rest of my day, honestly. Like, if I've released my charge, like I call it my charge, if I'm like kind of worked up, I can mentally and physically, I feel like sometimes focus on some things where if I just came, I am not in a mental space to do some of those activities. So it's a holistic process.